The Ukraine crisis has put the question of energy security back in the spotlight. Many European countries say they need alternative sources of oil and gas. Some are even saying they want to boost the use of coal to reduce their dependence on Russian gas. Well, with me I have the EU's Climate Change Commissioner, Connie Hedegaard. Welcome. You, of course, have been pushing for greater use of clean, alternative, renewable source of energy. The two things don't really seem to square in this current crisis.
Well, now I haven't heard such a strong call for more coal, but for instance for gas, Poland. For shale gas. But the Commission or nobody else would not prevent anybody from exploring shale gas if they want to do it. Member states can do that, and nobody ever prevented them from doing that. So that would be part of the discussion. One should, of course, remember that if you start to do shale gas, if you take the decision tomorrow that you want to do it, you're not exactly seeing the results for some years to come.
But that's the same for renewables, which is what you've been saying Europe needs to invest in.
That's true, but also we have invested quite a bit in getting the infrastructure up running for these kind of things. We have some rather good examples. The cost of renewables are coming down, contrary to what some tend to believe. And then I've also called very much for efficiency, because there is an irony, isn't there? Some of our member states who are the less energy efficient, they are also the most energy dependent when it comes to importing gas from Russia. So there is really a potential of doing better and then having to import less from Putin's Russia.
But still, you get a lot of countries like Poland, like Hungary, for instance, that's saying renewables are just not the alternative for us now. They're too expensive. We'll need too many subsidies. We have an abundance, for instance, of coal. We're getting cheaply also out of the US. Why not just use that for now?
Because we also have a carbon problem, a climate problem to take care of. Again, nobody is saying you must not do coal. You can do coal, but there is a price to using coal in Europe, because we have this emissions trading scheme, and the price is right now coming up. Not enormously, but it's creeping up day by day.
So it's making it more expensive to use coal?
Yes, it's more expensive, and it is relatively more profitable to do something else. Of course, if you look at it in the very, very short term, it could be tempting just to say, let's just use our own domestic grown coal. But you also have to look at where do we have to be, where does the world have to be in 2030, 2040, 2050. And that is why what our heads of states are going to discuss later this week. That is, of course, Ukraine. That's, of course, the energy situation and the sanctions and all this. But then it is also what should be our climate goals for 2030, because we need a coherent strategy. And there you will have a very broad energy mix, but you will also have to do more renewables, and you will have to do much more energy efficiency. We have a potential for energy efficiency in Europe that is still very huge, and that is the cheapest energy. That's the energy you don't use.
And stay competitive at the same time, which of course is the big, very difficult circle to square. Thank you very much, Commissioner Hedegaard.